Phil.
Lines up!
I'm Nilden.
Big slide!
I'm Raz.
I'm gonna bust his ass.
I'm Shane.
Slide jobs by the dozen out here.
I'm Brandon.
And he can kiss my dick.
Hello, this is Thomas.
Come here. Pisser.
I'm John.
Sit down the back straightaway for the final time. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
This is Dirty Sliders Podcast. Let's feed them the right rear.
What's up, guys? Welcome back.
What's up, Phil?
Hey.
It's a great day to be alive.
It's freaking hot out here on the West Coast.
I had to put my jacket on to go to work this morning.
That's tough because it was definitely triple digits here today again.
Yeah.
52 degrees when I got in the car.
Yeah, you're not helping your.
Dennis.
Yeah, you're not helping your.
64
story
degrees
there.
this morning.
It was 82 when I got in my car this morning.
At what, 5 a.m.?
No, it was 82 when I got my car 7:30. It was sitting in the shade.
Well, this episode is brought to you by our good friend Ryan Spencer and his company RMS Media. You can find him on Facebook. He's a good friend of ours, a friend of the program. He wanted to sponsor this episode, so we're happy to do it. We're going to see if we can get a little media from him for next show, but definitely want to give him a shout out and thank you for this sponsorship, Ryan.
Appreciate it, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks, bub.
Thank you, buddy.
So, start off with an update of Chase Johnson, which we've done with the last 3 shows, and it ain't good. There's a lot not being said, and you can tell a lot by what's not being said. But the family decided to put him on a tracheotomy. So, I'll once again defer to the medical people. That pretty much means he's probably going to be a quadriplegic.
That's not good.
So sad to hear. I like Chase a lot. Was literally ready to go to blows with the devil for him, but it's a sad fact. He's a very good race car driver, and I hope I'm wrong, but I mean, I call him like I see him.
Yep. Well, and Phil, the tracheotomy could just be give his lungs a rest because I guess the pneumonia, they've been kicking his butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been on a ventilator tube, and the pneumonia has been an issue. And like I said, I'm not a medical professional. Hell, Neil, you know a hell lot more about it than I do, and I'm sure Phil knows more than the two of us. But we also know racing injuries and how the progression of the thing goes. They talked about in the update how they are moving his extremities to help clear up the fluid in the lungs. I don't understand that a little bit, how moving your arms and legs can help clear fluid in your lungs, but I'm sure you guys do.
Yeah, it's a lot. It takes a bit to explain it, but long story short is keep moving around, keep the fluids moving around. It won't settle in one spot. So, yeah. But that's not a welcomed update. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I would rather have heard a lot better in the fact of he was breathing on his own, kicking pneumonia's ass, starting to show some signs of feeling and things of like that nature, but it's not going. That's not going the right direction.
Yeah, and there's a GoFundMe out there. I shared the link on the last podcast episode. They've raised over $150,000 towards Chase Johnson for his recovery and his family. And if those updates are consistent with what I thought and what I said, that's not near enough. He's going to need probably 5 times that just to get started.
Hey, Marshall, I'd like to take the money that we got from Ryan for this episode and donate it right to them.
Yeah, I can do that. So yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Good.
So, and then next thing I want to jump into, I want to address something was prominent talk in our last podcast. We basically called out the 21V Jimmy Villa for taking out a guy, and then I saw a video that in my opinion, was him not taking it out. You guys are welcome to share your opinions. I know some of you disagree, but I think the 24K was going to spin out before Jimmy ever got there. And I would like to express my apologies to Jimmy B on that. I do not retract anything I said about the race director at that track. I think he's not doing a good job and either needs to get way better or go away and let someone else take it on. That I'm not retracting. I stand by those things as I generally do when I say something like that. Anybody got anything else they want to add?
Yeah.
I'm with you on it, Marshall. You know, more of evidence, more video. You know, I think the leader was wrecking himself.
Yeah, and I hadn't seen that video before our last podcast, and if I had, I would have had a different opinion, and I would have expressed it then. But hey, we're not perfect. We say in the beginning,
We're not professionals.
We're not professionals. We're not experts. We're just a bunch of dumbasses talking racing.
No, yeah, we also don't have 50 cameras all around the track to see every angle, so we can only see. I mean, my thing from that video that Raz is mentioning from 70X, he's in turn 2, so he's not got the best view of if they did or did not touch. But again, my opinion I shared amongst us was earlier in the season, we had a pure stock racer that got docked, 2 points or 2 places or sent to the back, I can't remember, for someone who was clearly wrecking, and he just, tagged him in the back, was basically caught up in the wreck as far as that video. But again, it's a judgment call at the time, and sometimes you get them right. Most of the time they go one way at Corona in this class.
Yeah, and I don't want to get into that too much, but
No.
I don't want to hang Jimmy Villa out on a stake, because in this particular case, in this one incident, I don't think he was at fault. Yes, I do think he made contact, but you could see his nose after the contact, and his nose isn't even crinkled. So if he did make contact, it was very light contact, and the 24 was pretty sideways when he did make contact.
Yeah.
So I know Brandon's been paying a whole bunch of attention to Boone because he grew up in that neck of the woods. Matter of fact, we got a picture that we could show of him
I'll put it up.
being there in the Pleistocene age.
Share that up.
Oh, good Lord.
I don't have it pulled up, but I can find it while Brandon tells us about everything that happened at Boone.
Just interrupt him talking whenever you get it, Raz.
Yeah.
I'm fairly confident that we have plenty to talk about with the Supernationals. Vice, a picture that popped up on a dang screen while we were at a track prep session. Let's see. 506 total races were ran from Saturday to Saturday for 4,852 laps. 1,036 cars signed in for the 42nd annual IMCA Supernationals. Before we get too far, I want to say thanks to Ryan Clark. He's the secretary for IMCA. He's a co-announcer with Jerry Van Sickle at Supernationals. He shared a bunch of information, and he gave me some answers that I was looking for on some things also. Talking about dirty driving, since that's our podcast, Supernationals doesn't play around. They threw 45 black flags for questionable driving. So that's, you make contact and with the guy in front of you and he goes around, black flag, you're done. Take it to the trailer, right? So 45 black flags for questionable driving.
You hear that, Verona?
Damn, look at there.
A no flag.
Hey,
So
there's
the guy,
Flash.
that picture right there, the guy on the left is Rod Robbins. He's actually the guy that's in charge of all the track prep sessions at Supernationals, which is pretty cool. Jeff Schroyer's in the middle. He's a multi-time track champion for Marshalltown and Boone, Greenbelt Speedway in Eldora, Iowa. Raced all over Iowa, obviously, when I was a kid there. Josh Schroyer's his son, that's in the green sweatshirt. Chad Reed's in the boss shirt, and of course, the guy there on the right, me, ripe young age there at the Marshtown Speedway and Victory Lane, it looks like.
What the heck is that kid so pissed off about?
Well,
What's
I got
wrong?
a question for Brandon. When did you, clearly after that picture was taken, you fell down the ugly tree and hit every branch.
Right.
Simmer down back there.
Also, his own last trip to Victory Lane was that picture.
Whoa,
Shots
Bridges.
Fired.
Shots have been fired.
Fired.
78.7.
Oh.
I've got a sticker on top of my car that says main event winner from last year.
I
Yeah, but
know.
were you
I'm
driving?
You
shit.
didn't visit.
Hey,
But
why are you bringing
didn't
up
visit.
old
You
shit?
can look into that one.
Hey, Brandon, I hear anybody can get those made.
I hear some of us can find the high side too there, Phil. You better sit down a little lower in that couch or a little high.
Oh. We're wearing that out with Phil.
Nah, it's gonna,
I mean, it's the only material he's got because,
well, because some of us still race and some of us retired, so there's not any more material.
yeah.
So
All right. Well,
anyways,
back to Boone.
back to Boone. We'll start with the modifieds because, well, the ground pounders is the show at Super Nationals. 225 entries this year, 570 all-time qualifiers for 42 years. The winner of that one, Dylan Thornton, also won the late model big dance at the beginning of the week. So we'll talk about that because he's the first guy in 42 years that's won the Super Nationals in 3 divisions: late model, stock car, and modified. He won the stock cars last year, modifieds this year, and late models this year. So Dylan Thornton. Tanner Black ran second. Career best for him ran second. His previous best was 8th in 2020. Qualified 4 times for the dance in his career. Every even numbered year since 2018. So he likes to take the odd years off. Zach Vanderbeek finished 3rd. Dallin Murdy, we'll talk about him in the stock cars also, finished 4th for the 3rd time in 4 years. 4th place finish. It's career best for him. And then rounding out the top 5, Austin Becerra. He's a former sport mod champ. First time qualifier in the modified and ran 5th. Stock cars up next. 37th year running stock cars. Record number 266 entries, 399 all-time qualifiers. Kelly Shryock, obviously big name in dirt racing. 40 years. He's on his 40th year of racing. He's a USMTS, multi-time USMTS champion. Won it in the stock car. So he beat out Dallin Murdy there at the line. The game changer, Dallin Murdy, finished 2nd. He was side by side with Shryock going into 1 on the final lap.
Damn good battle between those two.
He got up in front of Shryock going down the back straightaway. Shryock stuck his nose in on the bottom and drove him to the fence until he got to the checkered flag. So the old dog teaching the young dog new tricks there. Let's see. Johnny Carter led the list of list of 7 first-time qualifiers. He finished 3rd. Jeff Mueller finished 4th, and Jake McBurney, the guy that I probably threw in on the dirty slider of the week, finished 5th because on a restart he threw a dirty on Dallin Murdy, and that allowed Kelly Shryock to come from 3rd and take the lead.
Threw the dirty on Murdy?
Yeah, sure enough. Sport mods, 20th year for sport mods to be racing at Super Nationals, which is kind of crazy to think about. 176 entries this year, 296 all-time qualifiers. Logan Anderson, the 18th different sport mod champion. He won it. Robbie Tom had a good week all week. He finished 2nd place. That guy, every race pretty much that we watched all week that he was in, he ran a damn good race. Dylan Van Wyck was 3rd and Tony Olson 4th. Dusty Massolini, the Boone track champion for sport mods, finished 6th. Hobby stocks, Nathan Ballard, that was Interesting race too. Olmsted threw a terrible slider on Mike Smith. Took Mike Smith out by cutting his tire down. That gave the lead to Nathan Ballard. Cody Williams finished second. Corey Probst was third. John Watson fourth, and Keith Berg rounded out the top five. Late models, Dylan Thornton won it. 21st different driver to win it. Second was Corey Dumpert, the 2022 champion. Anthony Roth was third. Matt Ryan fourth, and Alex Banks was fifth. Sport Compacts, Brad Chandler won it on the last lap. Actually made a pass down the back straightaway on the last lap to win it. Josh Barnes was second. Mick Reikus was third. Randy Martin fourth, and Tyrell Jones was fifth. Mod Lights, they ran the first big dance of the week. They ran their dance during the prelude. Riley Clem became the third different Mod Light champion in the division's fourth year history. Dylan Rafferty was multi-time champion of that deal. He broke his shifter, actually. They went to a red flag for a car getting upside down, and on the restart, he broke his shifter and had to pull off the track, so that gave the win to Riley Clem. John Padilla was second. Johnny Brown Jr. was third. Jaden McDowell was fourth, and Justin Williams rounded out the top five. So there's had race of champions. They had all these different things going on in Supernationals, but man, I mean, Soper, you watched it pretty much all week with me. There was a lot of action.
A ton of action, man. And I mean, you cannot applaud IMCA and Boone enough for the amount of work that goes in. I mean, over 1,050 cars there. They re-prep the track 15, 20 times a night in between each session of racing. Just an unbelievable event. The racing's always good. And like you said, with the no flag coming out so often, it usually tends to lend towards good, clean, hard racing.
I mean, that wasn't even going through the DQs and the tech area. I mean, top four, top five after each heat race, and there was a lot of disqualifications because they pretty much tear your car down every single time you make tech.
I
And
heard
you
there
get
was a controversy about engine seals in tech.
somebody's got more info on that than I do. I didn't get much research on that when you guys were talking about it earlier.
Yeah, I didn't catch the whole story, but I basically someone saying, "Hey, you had a different seal on your engine the last race, and now it's a different one." Which I don't know. Maybe they swapped engines. Who knows? But
I know
anyway,
a couple of guys got DQ'd for compression, so in a crate motor, so that's pretty interesting.
well, there's no bigger cheating than there is in a spec class or a spec part.
Um, I, are we rolling into the actual
The other big
controversy?
the other big controversy.
Uh,
Yeah,
so Travis Denning Motorsports and Evan Miller Motorsports had a little tussle off the track, actually, on the outside of the speedway. And I was trying to figure out what was going on because watching the live videos, you could see the police cars lined up down the side of Highway 30, which is right outside the track. And you could see a hauler there, but you just didn't know what exactly was going on until obviously the Facebook came out. Travis Denning Motorsports said Evan Miller's dad tried to run him off the road.
that's Justin Miller. Let's name the guy because I think he deserves a naming.
Yeah, so they posted some
Yeah.
pictures of the toter being tore up and said that they were pretty much.
Here, I've got those pictures.
Miles, come here. That's my son's birthday, so we can say happy birthday. Come here. Let me say let him say happy birthday to you because you look crazy and you're right here. Say hi. Say
Happy birthday.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Miles.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Yay!
Yeah.
Right, hang on.
Where's that? Where's my Chinese gumball?
I can't minimize Zoom when I'm recording.
I was looking for that.
Did anybody know that?
I was looking for that.
Nope.
No.
No.
We're learning.
Breaking news. You can't
Yeah.
minimize zoom.
I mean, ultimately, these photos are out there on
So
Facebook. So, if we end up finding them, go ahead, Russ.
Yeah, we're back to the old we're not experts.
Yeah. Yeah. So if we end up finding them, we'll show them. But if not, I mean, they're easily found out
No, I
there.
got them.
There's some.
I just had to get the window open. So this
There it
is the toter home. Big bright yellow toter home. Looks like a
Yeah, you can't
Kenworth.
see that.
You guys can't see it?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
we
just-
know
No,
we can.
no. I'm saying you can't see that big yellow motorhome.
Yeah, and one of the contentions was, all the damage up front. There's two different versions of this story. One is that
Three.
yeah, there's one side, the other side, and the truth. One is that Justin Miller came up to the front of the motorhome, swerved his truck over, then brake checked him, so that caused all this front end damage. Of course, Justin Miller's version is that the motorhome ran him down. Let me show pictures of his truck.
I'd say by the looks of the Chevrolet pickup, I don't believe he was hit from the back.
No, and that's going to be evident in this photo. That is not a vehicle that is hit from the rear. Not if you look at the way the sheet metal's
Fenders
folded
pulled
and
back, yeah.
No.
everything's peeled back. Now, of course, he's going to say, "Well, yeah, I was up and I was there, and I was trying to get away from him, or whatever." He'll have some BS story, but the two things, the door, right where it's peeled back, that's pretty cut and dry, dude. That's the middle of your vehicle. A half-ton Chevy pickup's a hell of a lot maneuverable than a Kenworth. If you need to get away, you can. And his story changed a couple different times on Facebook, and then he has since deleted his post. So I'm all things to me, in my opinion, that point to guilt on Justin Miller's part is the way I see it. But there's no place for this, man. This is completely 100% unacceptable. Leave your crap on the racetrack. This is people's wives, kids, grandchildren, pets. They didn't sign up for this.
Right. And potentially people not even involved in the racetrack at all, or
Yeah, I
just
mean,
driving home.
yeah,
Especially on 30.
Yeah.
But one of the things that Justin Miller said was that Travis Denning and their total home, they kept driving to get away from the scene. But then there's pictures of the total home right there at the track. So where did he drive to?
Wasn't it pictures with it right there at the track, and you could see the lights of the cop cars
Yeah,
with it
so
too?
the police, it was pretty much right when you pull out of the speedway, you make a right-hand turn, and it was fairly close to that entry point where they were stopped on the side of the road, and the law was there, so they didn't get very far out of the track.
Well, I mean, how the heck can that toter home get? I mean, I don't know what all really happened. We weren't there. We're just kind of armchair quarterbacking this. But how did that toter home get up enough speed to do that damage to that? I could believe that a gas powered vehicle, lightweight, could get speed to hit that toter home and cause that damage. I don't see the toter home having enough speed to do what they're saying it did.
Not where it was
Well,
at, there's no way.
I mean, you, me, and Neilden, we all have experience driving toter homes. It's they're
They're
they
not
ain't
agile.
Porsches. Yeah.
They don't get up to speed very quickly.
Right, and they don't stop very quickly. So if you brake check them, you're going to get hit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, gross tonnage, they lose or they win.
They especially don't stop very well when the trailer brakes don't work. I can tell you from experience.
Yes, fact.
Those can be important.
Yes,
Occasionally.
There was more than once when I was I had a hold of the steering wheel and I was hitting the brake pedal so hard that I was coming up out of the seat, and it was not slowing down. And you guys were behind me in a pickup. Anyway,
That was a fun trip to shake out the bugs.
yeah, there were some big bugs.
There's some left in the seat too, I believe. Little
Yeah,
rabbit
we
pellets.
learned it. We learned. Yeah, I was pushing them out like they were like I was a Pez dispenser. We learned a little something about compressed natural gas diesels too in that trip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't.
Yeah, don't. No power, and then hey, look, you're out of fuel, and
Mhm.
by the way, you can't just open a cap and pour it in.
No.
Hey, wasn't that out of fuel with a quarter tank?
Yeah.
Well, we
Well,
had
we
a
headed up the
7 mile.
hill.
We had a 7 mile drive, and we started with a quarter tank, and we could not have done 8 miles.
We couldn't do 7.5. We couldn't restart the thing.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
That was
But we looked like
expensive-
badasses at the track. We rolled
Yeah,
up
it
that
was
time. We looked fucking killer.
I gotta say that trailer was nice.
Yeah, Snow White was very nice, especially when she had seven
Yes.
dwarves inside of her.
Yeah, 7 dwarf
Beauty.
cars in that thing.
Yeah, before your time, Soper.
No,
You would have liked Snow White and her seven dwarves.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So that brings us to the high limit race, the Tuscarora 50 at Port Royal, also called the Speed Palace. I love that nickname. Rico Abreu won the gig from third. There was some criticism of the track that it was a one-lane track. There was no passing available. But this is his right rear after 50 laps.
He used all of it.
Yeah.
Isn't that Baldini?
That's the Baldini,
Yeah.
as Phil likes to say. That's amazing that he finished that race because you can see the air.
Mm-hmm. It's trying to get out.
Yeah, that's one thing that Rico is a badass in a wing sprint car, and I 100% am pretty sure that he knew that tire was exactly like that and drove it accordingly. There's a little bit of controversy over not necessarily this race, although this race was called out because it was a snooze fest. It just there literally was no passing, although Rico went from third to first, so obviously there was some passing, but just a one groove track that nobody could get around. And Brent Marks had something to say about it, and if we got time later, I'll bring up his comments. But he was basically saying that something's got to be done, but not just about Port Royal, but about racing, sprint car racing in general. He's basically his contention is that we're losing fans. But I don't want to burn a bunch of time on that because Thomas is going to tell us about Eldora and the World 100.
So the World 100, the World 100 was this weekend. Obviously, it was a huge deal. One being the World 100, but two being one of, if not the most loved track by Scott Bloomquist. So if you get a chance, I think Flow Racing has it on YouTube. You can actually watch the Scott Bloomquist tribute memorial they had Saturday morning prior to the actual race.
Read the show sheet. You're getting ahead of us.
I know. I'm getting there. But
I almost drove up to Eldora on Saturday because it's basically 6 hours for me. Someone talked me into being more fiscally responsible than that, though.
And you're welcome.
But 100 laps, had a couple of different leaders. Ultimately, Bobby Pierce ended up winning. Dale McDowell was running him down. Jonathan Davenport, I thought he was going to get up there. He was looking strong, and he got Dale McDowell got around him. Garrett Alberson led a big chunk of the first half of that race, which was really cool. It's Eldora is just Eldora. I mean, I think Bobby Pierce had damn near knocked the deck out of that car, running it up against the wall. But even through 100 laps, man, they were running the top and the bottom, and they were quick on both lanes, and it puts on a great race. It gets a little dusty in the beginning, It gets kind of hard to see the cars coming up out of the corners, especially down in 3 and 4. But after it goes for a little while, that dust blows off. It starts to clear up. The One of the other cool Scott Bloomquist things we were going to talk about is the rap tributes that were out there, and there was a few of them, quite a few, but definitely one of the coolest ones that they had was one that Nick Hoffman was sporting.
Absolutely.
I'll get to this video in a second. If this thing will get out of my way. I gotta find, there it is. The Nick Hoffman tribute rap right there. That is, he's got his number 9 down there, but I mean, if you've watched late model racing, I think we've all seen Nick Hoffman in a Scott Bloomquist type rap before. But definitely this one by far, I think, takes the cake. I love the way this one looks. And then there it is on the track with Davenport and a couple other guys around him. Just a great looking car.
It looks awesome. I can't look at that and not see the Narcotics Anonymous emblem right in the middle of the door.
Well, that would have been fitting for Scott if he was part of it.
Yeah. Ask me how I know what the Narcotics Anonymous emblem looks like.
Yeah. And then to continue on with the Scott Bloomquist stuff, when they went to start the race, they did the 4 wide salute, but they had 2 Scott cars in the front there. So,
now who was driving them? Do you remember?
Yep, I think we can see everybody here kind of knows I don't recall who was driving the black Scott car, but I do know that his daughter was in the passenger seat because that is a
Tony
2-seater late
Stewart.
model. No, Tony Stewart was in the white late model.
driving the other one.
Tony was driving the white late
I
model.
thought Del
number
McDowell
18.
or one of them.
And his daughter was in the other.
Yeah, his daughter was in the black one.
As a passenger.
Like I said, I don't know who was driving the black late model, but his daughter was in that one, and then Tony drove the white one. So when they came down the back stretch and the fireworks went off, they made one more lap around, and then the black late model peeled off the track, and Tony actually opened her up and took 2 laps in the white car at almost full throttle. So that was super cool.
Was it only me, or did they install dust division when that race was going on?
Yeah.
I was getting all kinds of dust in my house.
Yeah, it was. I think it was my allergies.
Yeah, I mean, something was going on. I mean, the heat, the dust, I don't know what was going on. Something, though.
Got a little sweat in my eye.
A little bit, yeah.
And, not taking anything away from Scott, with stuff we've talked about in other episodes that I don't want to bring up now, but he was, you could say, the GOAT of late model racing and definitely the GOAT of Eldora.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The rumor is they're going to rename the stands.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's real cool.
I know Tony has had a lot of respect for Bloomer.
Got. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
They're a little bit cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, Thomas, you see the like you were saying, the earlier in the day where they actually took what I saw on YouTube said it was his body, I think it was his ashes, but they put it in the back of that Suburban and did laps around with that 18 late model in between them, kind of like as his last laps around
dusty.
the track.
There was something.
Yeah, it was
in my
very
house.
dusty for that.
I think there was a chemical leak.
Yeah, they did a really nice tribute before the race. Thomas touched on it a little bit, and people got up and said what their feelings about Scott. One of the ones that struck me quite a bit was Mark Richards, the owner of Rocket Chassis, had a lot of great things to say about Scott, and that's particularly touching when you know that Scott ran Rocket Chassis for a while and then started making his own chassis. And that, I don't care who you are, if you're a chassis manufacturer and somebody starts making their own right after running yours, you got to go to the back of your head. Well, he took my ideas, and I'm sure that happened a little bit in the back of Mark Richards' head, but that was not said. Mark had a lot of respect for Scott and said so. It was a pretty touching tribute.
Well, Scott was the kind of guy, and we said it before, where he did life on his own terms. So he'd take that rocket car, and in his brain, he could make it better. And so he essentially took a rocket frame and tried to make it his own and make it better. And he won a lot of races, man. Can't take that away.
Yeah, for sure. And those zero chassis that Scott Bloomquist came up with, they won a lot of races, and he won quite a few races with other guys behind the wheel. Like he sold those cars to other racers.
Yep.
So the chassis was obviously fast, and of course, Scott himself was fast. Right up till the end. I mean, he was still winning races.
Yep.
Yeah, he never fell off the top and kind of, piddled around the back and then stopped. He was in the
Yeah, I
front the
mean,
whole time.
he had some injury issues that slowed him down for a while there, but he came back from strong. I know he won the World 100 one year, basically one-handed because he had a shoulder that he couldn't even hardly do anything with.
Hmm.
And he also won the very first World 100.
There you go. There's a little factoid.
Yeah. Not to get away from the tribute, but one of the things I noticed, the Hunt the Front guys, he came out with their Capital chassis, which we all kind of guessed that was going to be their surprise, that they were going to pick up a new chassis. I was not aware that Marshall Green had sold Capital chassis to Shane Clanton. I guess I just missed that news. But they talked about quite a bit about how Shane is helping out the Hunt the Front program with setup advice and driver coaching advice and everything. And Joseph was fast at Eldora. He led laps. Had it not been for some tough luck, he would have won a prelim night.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you've said it before, and he just proved it this weekend. Like that man can drive a car. He is a driver.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets, basically factory help from Shane Clanton on the Capital side, they're talking about that's almost a house car that, he's going to get full support. If he gets that and the shock absorber advice that he talked about, and he's kind of a wizard with shocks himself. So yeah, that might turn into a legit real deal program there. I mean, not that they're not. I mean, they're true racers and true traveling racers, but they just been looking to get to that next level. And, I don't know if it's the Longhorn chassis or lack of confidence or whatever, but they just weren't there. They haven't been there probably for over a year. Well,
All
that
right,
brings
so
us
what's
up.
next?
That brings us up to our Dirty Slider nominees. I'm going to go around the horn. Brandon, who's your nominee?
Jake McBurney on Dallin Murdy in the stock car big dance. I seen Soper had the video pulled up there.
Yeah, it's probably going to be choppy, but let's give it a shot.
There were a couple dirty sliders at Super Nationals, but that one there kind of stung a little bit more because it was getting close to the end of the main event.
So that's him in the 82?
Jake McBurney's in the 82, Dallin Murdy's in the 99, and Kelly Shryock's in the 3 car on the outside.
All right. And this is a restart.
This is a restart in-car camera with Kelly Shryock here going down the front straightaway. Right here you'll see McBurney just send it in there.
Dude.
Nowhere close.
Yeah, no intentions of making that one.
Man.
Oh, here. Well, one more time for you.
So Kelly Shryock's into the catbird seats like, thank you, sir. I'll take that.
Dang. It's like he time warped from another dimension, man.
Yeah.
So after that, Dallin Murdy rallied back to finish side by side, close second at the line. So I have a feeling if McBurney not throwed that shitty slider, Dallin Murdy probably wins that deal.
Yeah. Neilden, what do you got?
Well, I couldn't find the video.
Okay.
But it was oh crap. What's his name? Did himself over the berm.
Corey Day.
Oh, Corey Day.
Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, not quite a slider, but when you take yourself out, it kind of hurts.
Yeah.
That is true.
And you hear sprint car drivers say that every now and then. Yeah, I slid myself to keep him from sliding me. But in this case, Corey Day actually did.
He slid himself and finished himself off. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have the video either, but I saw it. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I was trying to find it and I couldn't.
Yep. Mr. Bridger, what do you got?
I got nothing. I'm not gonna lie. I was looking and I couldn't find anything. Didn't have time, so I'm just gonna be a
Okay.
voter, an observer this time.
All right, Thomas.
Weak.
All right. Well, my video is also going to be the same one as what Brandon sent. But if you guys want, I can play you the wall cam from where Corey Day tried to 50-50
Yes,
grind
that's what I was trying to
the
find.
wall.
Oh, yeah, bring
yeah,
that
I
up.
saw that one.
Okay. I thought I had recorded the out of car view, but I don't know where it is. So I'll just play you guys this one, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Let me know when you got it.
Send it.
All right. If you watch up here in this top corner, you'll see this old black sprint car coming at you, and just be careful. It's just a video, guys. It's not going to hit you.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
One more time.
You can't park it there, bud.
Nope.
Damn.
I mean, he had the wall slide. He almost completed the wall slide.
Yeah,
Looks
and
like one of them.
he completely yard sailed that thing when it landed on the track. There was alcohol all over the track, and I mean they had the foam all the way down the track. It took them a good solid 15, 20 minutes to get it cleaned up. I give it to them. They were quick and they're fast.
That looks like
But
one
they
of
had
my
to-
410 wing sessions on iRacing.
Corey
And
Day
that's
did get out of
actually-
the car and walk away from it, so he is fine.
That's good.
That's actually pretty close to the one I had with the take yourself out from the lead with 3/4 of the lap going for the win video. If we want to see that, I got
Yeah.
that ready
Bring it.
somewhere. Here we are. I think. Hang on, we're sharing that.
All right,
Yeah.
looking good.
Okay, so we're at Texarkana here.
Who are we
We
watching?
got,
Who are we watching?
This looks like
We got
USAC
no
sprints.
sound now. Yep, USAC sprints at Texarkana 67. So that's
Ooh.
after the white flag. So last
Oh.
lap, yeah, took himself out, just jumped that cushion just a bit.
Damn,
And right here is, oh yeah, that's
Oh,
another
shit.
you can't park there.
That's almost as good as Kyle Larson's in that cup race.
Oh,
Wow.
that was
Oh,
a nasty hit.
oh man.
But that's not a
How
dirt
he
race.
got out was like,
Not there.
He hung a solid right hand turn at a rapid pace.
Man.
It is not a dirt race like what Phil said, but damn it, can we agree that was a hard lick?
mhm.
That
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
a hard hit.
Atlanta
Yeah,
Motor
I mean-
Speedway's Atlanta Motor
Well,
Speedway's suing him because he moved the track over 3 feet.
Let's not forget about Briscoe hitting him though afterwards. That was a good lick too.
Uh-huh.
All right, Phil, who you got?
You got my video. I sent it to you.
Let me
I
see
do
here.
not know the name of the drivers, but Dude, come
Supernationals
on.
modified one.
yeah, dude come underneath and had no intentions at all of clearing him and just pancaked his ass in the wall. It's like, get out of the car and it's ass whooping time.
Yeah, Supernationals stirred up some shitties on the week for sure.
Well, I mean, that many races, you're going to get them.
Yeah.
This one was ugly.
All right, here we go.
Here it comes. No idea who the drivers are, but holy shnikes.
They had a good old sendit.com on it.
Oh, check it out.
So that's Greg Elliott in the 75. I know that for sure. And he's the culprit there on the shitty. Ooh.
Never
Oh,
intended
yeah,
to clear him.
yep.
He never intended to clear him. He's like, I am going to feed
No.
you the right rear. And oh, by the way, there's the wall, Bubba.
That's going for a transfer spot in the last chance to dance scenario there.
Did
but
he
yeah,
get-
that's
No dirty.
Did
he get the no-no
make it?
flag?
he did.
Oh,
Hopefully
No,
it didn't
don't
blow
touch
everybody's
me there.
eardrums
That's
out.
my no square.
So he definitely got a tore up race car and no dog, a bad dog, no biscuit is what they like to call
Yeah.
him there at Supernats.
All right. So what
All
about
right,
you,
so
Rod?
mine is pretty simple. I'm going to call out Justin Miller for the highway slider on the outside of Boone.
Oh, on the toter home?
Yeah.
The toter gate.
Just to be clear, he's calling out the Silverado, not the toter home.
Right.
Yep. All right.
So
Voting time?
voting time, but let's do this Bridger. Of the 5 we presented, who you got?
Oh, I go with the what was that? Stock cars at Supernats? The
Brandon's
99,
one?
yeah. Brandon's one, yeah.
There you go. Because we're all gonna vote for our own, so Bridger will be the tiebreaker there.
That works. I'm down with that.
Yeah. So dirty slider of the week goes to who, Brandon?
Jake McBurney, the 82 stock car from Supernationals.
Yeah, I
All
mean
right, so
that's just heartbreak.
we have a little bit of time, so I wanted to go over a couple things, and I'm not even going to try to lie. I got this off another guy's podcast. He was talking about Tony Stewart racing and basically the sprint car side of things. And they're talking about, well, since Stuart Haas is going away, are they going to keep their Ford Motor Program in the sprint cars? And he pointed out that the Tony Stewart has his own separate deal with Ford. It wasn't a carryover from Stuart Haas. It's a completely separate deal. And Tony's been doing a bunch of developmental work with Shaver, and he's invested in that. So he doesn't think there's going to be changes there. But he pointed out that Chase Briscoe, who also runs a Ford in his sprint car and is going to Joe Gibbs Racing, he thinks that Ford will pull their financial support from that sprint car operation. And the question then becomes, is he going to run a Chevy or is he going to run a Toyota? Because there's a Toyota sprint car engine out there, it's just not very widely used.
Yep.
McFadden is the cheerleader for that one.
Yep.
What's everybody's thoughts on that?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks to me like Tony Stewart is the house car for Ford Motors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's this guy named Donnie Schatz. He's pretty good.
Right? So I 100% believe that Ford is staying there with Donnie and Tony. With Chase Briscoe, I'd be surprised if he goes to the Toyota. I think they go to a Chevy motor.
Yeah, it's probably going to come down to what his deal is with Gibbs. And the other two we know with Gibbs, it may be a moot point. He might park that thing with a Ford engine and never set foot in it again.
Yeah.
But on the off chance that Gibbs does let him go out and race, I think it's probably a good time for Toyota to up their engine program and get some sprint car knowledge from Chase.
Hey, I mean, it couldn't hurt. I know that
Yeah.
Roth Motorsports and James McFadden have been working hard with Toyota on that sprint car engine. The one that Shaver was working with, there's 2 levels of engines. The ones that Stewart gets are different than what they call the customer engines. So, it's a one-off piece that, Stewart is speccing stuff. And I don't mean Tony personally, although it might be him personally. But the team is specifying just for what they want with their applications. And the one that Briscoe's running is just I don't want to say assembly line because Shaver's not putting engines together on assembly line, but it's the customer motor.
Do you think they're willing to put risk into Tony's car, but they want to keep their name good to the customer, so they just give them a good, reliable, know it's going to make it motor?
Well, I mean, that's generally how customer motors work. Nobody's taking any risks on a quote unquote customer motor. They want it to stay together. But then, your teams will generally want to push the envelope a little bit, and they basically tell the engine builder, hey, well, we want to push the envelope, but of course we're not going to dirt you if something happens.
Yeah.
No. When it's a team, that's racing. We're trying to get every bit of horsepower we can.
Yeah.
When as a customer, I need this motor to last me more than one night.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a lot of that. And then I ran across this article yesterday. I thought it was pretty interesting. This is Brent Marks, who knows a thing or two about sprint car racing. He's a driver himself. He says, "This is an opinion post, but I've been saying this for quite a while. I feel sprint racing is in a great position to thrive, and we need to take advantage of that opportunity to build it to the biggest it's ever been. I think we've gone backwards since 2023. I have been watching and studying a lot of different races. Why, I don't know, but I've realized how bad sprint car racing actually is right now. I've watched so many races since the beginning of the summer, and this is 90% of these events, the quality of the entire show is just awful. Worse than it was before when we tried to create passing. I don't know what he's referring to there. I must have missed something. Fortunately, Flo and Dirt Vision have been doing a great job on the production side of to keep it entertaining. I've seen the videos of the race last night. He's talking about Port Royal that Enrico won. With crowds of people leaving the track halfway through the main event. This proves how bad it's been. Late models had a Eldora Speedway record crowd for the World 100 this weekend for a reason. We have to do better, and it all starts with the rules package. Everyone is always so worried about moving into the future, but ever forgetting about history. Though there have been some awesome races with older packages, and there are so many things you can go back and look at to implant into today's racing. Again, don't know what he's referring there. It's like setting up your race car. You have a really good year, and the following year you start to struggle a little bit, and you start venturing off the path, and next thing you know, you're out in left field and have no idea how to get back. The smart ones know how to handle this situation. I don't often speak much, especially my opinions, so it's rare for me to bring things up like this to light. I only do it for a reason, and I'll try to I'll try and open everyone up to the conversation. We live in a yes, sir, yes, ma'am world, and sometimes we have to hold our decision makers accountable. I love the sport, and I just want to see it grow bigger than ever. So, what do you guys think he's referring to there?
I do know this year that the sprint cars, kind of like late models, they have the master rule book that like World of Outlaws and High Limit follow and whatnot. They I can't remember if they increased or decreased the wicker bill on the back of the cars. I believe it was a decrease from 3 inches down to 2 inches. And I don't know if that's one of those things he's referring to in there to try and create passing or whatever.
Well, one of the big things with sprint cars is, it's a dirty air thing. There's so much turbulence coming off that wing, that when you are trying to get around the guy in front of you, then it's you just can't. You get up close to him and stall. By the way, there's a pretty cool picture of Brent Marks. No other reason to show it than it's a school picture. He's the guy talking. I don't know what specifics he's talking about. I think a lot of it at Port Royal had to do with track prep. The guy who is in charge of the track prep went around apologizing to the racers, saying, sorry about the track you had tonight. Like I said, I watched that race. It was a, down on the bottom, one groove racetrack. Obviously, it was little bit.
You mean Tuscarora?
Yeah, it's a Tuscarora race, but the was at Port Royal.
Okay.
I don't know why they call it Tuscarora. That's probably a sponsor or something.
Okay.
But yeah, it was at Port Royal with that's, like I said, that's the one that Rico won. Obviously, the track was a little bit abrasive, but they also ran 50 laps. When a typical sprint car features 25, 30 laps, so you run 20 more laps, that right rear might look like that. I know they have problems right after COVID with the Hoosiers delaminating, but that seems to have kind of taken care of itself, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, short of somebody just not prepping a tire, right?
Well, one of the theories on the Hoosiers delaminating was what they needed some aging after they were made, and when we started back racing after COVID, those things were coming right out of the factory, right on the cars, and they didn't get that aging time in the warehouse. And then we were going through the inventory faster than they could make them, so they just weren't old enough. And I think what has happened is Hoosiers caught up with their production a little bit, and these tires are sitting in the warehouse for a little bit of time, and that's helped them.
Yeah,
That's plausible.
Yep.
But I think I touched on it last week. I think sprint car racing is at a crossroads where they could make a major change. I don't know that they will, but you would definitely have to have High Limit and World Outlaws on board, probably ASCS too, to redesign that car. Extend the wheelbase, maybe make it a little wider to give the driver some more room in there. Make it a safer car. Is it going to slow the car down? I don't know. Hell, it might be faster. But if it slows it down and they all slow down, you and I aren't going to be able to tell the difference.
Well, I think
That's all I got.
That's it.
Yep. I think maybe next week on Friday I might be able to get you guys some on race action, some on race or on at track entertainment. Hopefully, I get to go up to Bakersfield to watch the World of Outlaws race and bring a little bit of that content back with me.
Cool.
Take video, take notes.
And interviews.
Go through the pits and get some
Yeah.
interviews.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to after the race. Go see if somebody will talk to me.
Oh,
I'll be
somebody
watching
will talk.
different racing this weekend. I'm going down to the boat race on the bay, watching unlimited hydroplanes. Jet engines, baby.
Oh,
Hey,
that's
Thomas,
right. That is this weekend.
You'd be surprised. Walk up to the guy and say, "Hey, I'm Thomas. I'm with Dirty Sliders podcast. You got a minute so we can, talk a little bit?" Most of the times they're going to say, "Yeah," unless their name is Andretti.
Ask him about his Formula One team. He'll talk to you all day.
No, this was Jared Andretti at Paris, son of Jeff Andretti.
Okay.
I was part of a radio show, and I got with Jared right before qualifying. I said, "Hey, I'd like to do an interview with you for the radio show, but I know you're getting ready to go out for qualifying. Can I get with you after qualifying?" He goes, "Yeah, that'd be awesome." So he goes out in qualifying, turn one, lap one, just tries to move the track over, just thud right into the concrete barrier down there, and say sorry about your luck, but I got a job to do. So I went down there and I'm like, hey, can I bug you about that interview? And Jeff Andretti, his dad, proceeds to just light me up one side of the rope, one side, down the other. And he's like, "Don't you know who I am?" I said, "Yeah, you're the guy most famous for going down the pit road Indy on your head."
I don't think you got the interview, did you?
No.
Yeah.
No, and
It was
Jeff
worth a shot.
Andretti, Jeff Andretti hates me for real.
Well, we know a certain
If you
crew guy
guys-
that hates us too.
Yeah, just like Jimmie Johnson's crew chief in the IndyCar hates me for real.
The crew guy hates us even more. He had to go change.
Yeah.
He changed and disappeared for the day.
All right.
Well,
So
if you guys are
gotta tell-
watching this, go ahead.
we got to tell this story because me and Neildon went down to the Long Beach Grand Prix
Yep.
when back when Jimmie Johnson was racing IndyCar, and he goes out there and just overcooks a corner, stuffs it to the wall right where we were standing. I mean, we were 15 feet away from him. And then,
That's where he sprained his finger.
yeah, he's where he sprained his finger. So the pits were basically open. So we went, "Hey, let's go see how bad Jimmy's car is." So we get down there and they're just starting to take body panels off of it. And Neildon points out to me, he says, "Hey, do you see what's written on those rear shocks?"
No. It was,
And-
hey, something ain't right with the back of that car. They covered
Well, that's
it up
right, yeah.
real quick.
Something's not right with the back of that car because they keep covering it up. So we're off to the side. And we're like, let's hang out for a while. So they pulled the rag off, and you could see R and L, and R was where L's supposed to be, and L was where R is supposed to be. So they put the wrong
The
wrong
shocks are on the
shocks
wrong
on.
side. on the rear.
on the rear of that car, which might cause you to overcook a corner. I don't know. I don't know much about Indy cars,
Especially when they like turning right.
so I said to Jimmy's crew chief, his first name is Mike. I forget his last name, and I called him over. I said, "Hey, you want me to give you guys a seminar on L and not L?"
We got
And
kicked out of that area.
He didn't think that was very funny.
He's like, what are you talking about? Well, you might want to go talk to your crew guys.
So he proceeded to drop the drape right in front of me and kneeled in to basically block our view. And then we got told we had to leave that area.
Yeah, that was good though. I had a good time. I mean, we have a story for life.
Yeah.
The a-holes we are, and observant as we are, knowing how to get where we're not supposed to be to start with. Yeah, we see things. I was trying to find the photos. I'll find out, see if I'm ready for next podcast.
Yeah, that guy hates me for real.
Oh, yeah. But I was right there with you. It was all right. That was great. He's like, what are you talking about? You might want to go talk to your crew guys, because somebody ran in the back of your car. Yeah, shot guy got the day off for sure.
Oh, yeah.
If not longer.
Yeah, I'd have grabbed that guy and taken a Sharpie and written on his hand L and R.
There have been hazing
L
going
and
for
not
sure.
L. All right. Well, if you guys are watching, and if I do end up going to that sprint car race, and there's somebody you guys want me to interview, drop a comment down in below the video or on Facebook or whatever, and I'll if I'm there, I'll do what I can to make sure I make it happen.
Yeah, John, give a shout out to all our social media.
Yeah, so social media, Dirty Sliders on Facebook, Dirty Sliders on Instagram, at Dirty Sliders on X. As Thomas said, you got something you want us to talk about? Throw a comment in there and we will talk about it next week.
Bill, you had something to say?
I was just telling Thomas, go find one of the not front runners. Get somebody that's like a shoestring budget team and give him some
Find an
love.
open trailer.
Yeah, find an open trailer. The guy pulled in on behind a station wagon or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where the race car looks better than Toter does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thanks once again to RMS Media for sponsoring this episode, which we're going to pass along to the Chase Johnson Recovery Fund. What else we got? You guys, Thomas, Brandon, and John are racing again this weekend at Verona if they let him after the last podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
We're gonna show up. We'll see if we get kicked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll wait a little bit till we unload the cars and see what they say.
Oh, wait. Let's see.
All right. Well, like, comment, subscribe, all the algorithm stuff. It's really helping us out a ton. That's how we get where we want to be on YouTube, and give us a 5-star review over on Spotify. We'd appreciate that. But thank you so much for the support you guys have given us so far. It's been awesome to see how many of you want to watch 6 dumbasses talk about racing for an hour or so.
And eventually one day 7.
Yeah, if Shane ever gets a pass from his parole officer.
Let me see if I can get this so you can see the cover. I
Neil
found the
been
picture,
trying to
so I
show
got a
you.
good one.
Oh.
Come on.
Focus. No, it's not
Focus
focus.
you.
You got the background.
No, there we go.
it is.
Nice. Yeah.
So
We were there
If you
for
look right behind, you can see the cover. Obviously, I get the picture where you can see the L and R. They threw that little fender cover over as soon as they pulled the back hatch to the young kids. Like, oopsie, my bad.
All right. Well, good night, everybody.
See ya.
Good night,
Good night,
guys.
gentlemen.
See you guys.